Hello and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3 here on HeflaTV HB1. I'm Grandis Fiend. For this best of 3, I'm going to be joined by Michael Loris. It's going to be between Moscow 5 and Denial Esports, or at least Moscow 5 Team, as currently they're known as.
Yeah, so a little bit of complications, I suppose, with the overarching Moscow 5. Still more or less the same team, kind of, maybe not really. But they are going up against Denial, and we are in round 1 of the winner's bracket. So no one's going to get eliminated from this match, just the potential for one team to move forward and one team to drop down to losers.
Yeah. You are sounding a little bit, I don't know, robotic, or at least tinny. I'm not sure if that's the current setup you're using, or that's actual problems we can fix. Either way, this draft is progressing, albeit slowly. Moscow 5 ban out the Wisp first, and are taking their time with the second ban, which is quite peculiar. The Viper ban coming out from Denial Esports is fairly standard, and for now we don't have much to talk about in that respect. It's actually a Doom.
Ban.
So yeah, hopefully the audio is going to settle itself out. I'm using a different mic, so that might be it. It was the mic that I was using previously, so it has not seen action for quite a long time, but we're seeing a Broodmother to go along with those Doom bans. I like the Wisp ban from Moscow 5. They've certainly been doing their homework versus Denial in that regard, but the other two heroes, not too sure if there's a high chance of them getting through.
Fair enough. Yeah, Doom and Broodmother haven't been seeing much play at all as of late. In fact, I haven't seen a Broodmother game, and I'm not sure that's a bad thing at all. Broodmother, just a fairly passive swing pusher, and then Doom, we might see him every once in a while, but definitely not in the first pick. He's really fallen out of favor as of late, and although he still can be fairly powerful, he definitely pales in comparison to the likes of Scarth Mage, which is picked up by Moscow 5, and like the Death Prophet Razor, which are still available if Denial Esports want to pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely go for a Death Prophet Razor if I had the option to over Doom. I don't know if that's just me or if it's I mean, apparently it's you too. So we can't both possibly be wrong, right? That's just impossible. Puck is also another hero that, well, it's been very, very commonly seen, and it sometimes works out very well, sometimes it doesn't, but it's pretty safe in that you can dodge most of the dangers in the game right now.
Fair enough. Puck, I wouldn't be surprised to see Eventual Spirit comboed after. For Denial Esports would be pretty nice defensively up against the Scarth Mage, and offers some other nice lockdown spells that you could have at your disposal, but then again you'd be passing up the likes of the DP or the Razor, which Denial Esports might also have their eyes set on. I wouldn't be surprised to see any three of those heroes, or any one of those three heroes here, and it is going to be the Venge.
Dyer's pick.
So not too terrible getting your support picks up very quickly so as to deny them from the enemy. Also, you get a pretty nice combination in the swap out of a coil, which may or may not be relevant. Aghanim Scepter Puck maybe getting a little bit better because of that. But also just against Scarth Mage, being able to get someone out of that Mystic Flare. If you're quick enough, then, hell, you're going to be saving someone's life, almost guaranteed.
Fair enough. As for Moscow 5, they do have the option to go for any of those pushing powerhouses aforementioned, or they could go for something completely different. If they want to shore up their initiation power, I'd like to see a Centaur or Tidehunter for them here. But you can't go wrong with the DP or the Razor either. It is going to be the Centaur.
Alright, so I think overall I like Centaur as a better opening than Tidehunter, especially when you pair it with a Skyrath Mage. That burst combo in and of itself is just so deadly. And when you're talking about a Puck or a Vengeful Spirit, especially the Puck who can easily get surprised by a Blink Hoof Stomp, then you're golden. Like, if you get a silence or a surprise on him, then Puck is just going to die.
For sure. There's really not much you can do about it, and as you said, the burst combination coming out from these two is very immense, and Vengeful Spirit and Puck, although they can build up some tank, they're fairly low HP heroes, especially at the early portion of the game, and Moscow 5, they should be able to use that to their benefit. Expanding stage is going to include the Tidehunter ban out by Moscow 5, and I would expect some combination of the Razor and DP to be focused on, but maybe this is a draft that we're just going to see them completely ignored. Wouldn't entirely surprise me, although I think they are just a little too good to let through the pool.
Yeah, it's not too uncommon nowadays that we see Death Prophet being banned out 4th or picked up 4th, and then it just kind of just slips by and we just kind of forget about her, but we're certainly not going to forget about her in this particular game. It doesn't seem like either team really wants to be doing a lot of pushing, at least right now. That could change, of course, at the drop of a hat, but it seems like both teams are more than happy to just take a very much so hero-killing kind of strategy over a tower-pushing strategy, and that's fine, but you know, generally it's a little better to diversify your options.
Fair enough. Right now we're going to see Elder Titan banned out by Denial Esports.
10 seconds to go.
Not the most conventional of bans. I'm going to try recalling you to see if that fixes anything. It's not unbearable, but hopefully we can sort this out. Okay, so Beastmaster, next ban, coming out from Moscow 5. Another one of Denial Heroes, or Denial Esports fallback heroes. Either offlane for funzy or even in a position 4 for effing mad.
Yes, hopefully it sounds a little bit better now. I don't know. You sound a little bit different, so I'm assuming I have to sound a little bit different too, because of course that's how the internet works. This is a hero that Denial have been playing time and time again, and when you're going to be going for a very hero-killing oriented strategy, then opening up with a roar or having pseudo map hack vision with the Hawk is going to, have some pretty serious benefits to the team. Am I sounding at all better?
A little bit. Hopefully it doesn't go out there. We're fine for now, or at least I think we are.
Okay, I don't think if I can do anything else on this end. It's probably just the mic.
Fair enough. Well, Denial Esports are going to have the pick of
10 seconds to
pretty
go.
much whatever they want to go for in this first choice. They could shore up their supports. Ogre Magi is still available in the pool, and combo with the Vengeful Spirit, a nice aggressive duel, as well as a lot of ability to boost up a carrier's damage. I think that would be a solid choice, or at least angle to go about this draft.
It's also possible that they do want to go a little bit towards the Jar Ranger route. I don't know if I've actually seen Denial run with that hero before, but they already have a Puck and Vengeful Spirit. It's a pretty nice setup as far as going down that route. Of course, if you do go down that route, then something like a Razor is going.
Oh dear. Looks like I've lost Mike. I'm not sure if we're
very
going to be able to.
But it's instead going to be a Brewmaster. That's.
Okay.
Hello?
You're really cutting out terribly. I'll try one more time to recall during the draft, and if that doesn't work, worst case scenario, I'm gonna have to go about this solo and maybe find a different co-caster, but hopefully that's not the case. I'll try recalling again.
10 seconds to go.
Okay, sorry about this. Some technical issues, at least with my co-caster. The Brewmaster for Denial Esports. It doesn't mean that Draw Ranger is completely off the table, but potentially a little bit less of an option for them. Slark for Moscow 5 is also going to mean that Dro is not looking too great. Blinking Slark as well as Blinking Centaur could completely ruin Dro's day.
Oh, good.
I honestly have no idea if Mike Loris is here, so if you are, shout. If not, I think this is unfortunately going to be a solo cast. Yeah, stuff happens. Maybe I'll be able to get another caster in for the second game, but it seems that the internet situation, at least on Mike's end, is pretty terrible at the moment.
5 seconds.
Okay, very well. For Denial Esports, it's going to be Lycan instead, comboing in a similar fashion to the Draw Ranger, at least boosting everybody's damage with the Howl. There's no Visage on the pitch yet, which I'd assume is going to be banned out by Moscow 5, as it would combo pretty nicely with what Denial have already built for themselves, a nice aggressive roaming support duo, or even that Ogre Magi. I don't think it really matters which one gets banned by Moscow 5. No matter what it is, it's going to be the other one picked up by Denial Esports, or at least that would be what I would assume. Moscow 5 are going to go for the Disruptors, so nice AoE lockdown for both the Brewmaster and the Puck. And if that is an offlane Puck for Denial Esports, which is what I assume they're going to be going about in the laning stage, if you're able to catch him after Lose Orb with a Jaunt, in that case, it's going to be fairly easy to lock him down if you have that silence available for the Skywrath Mage.
Anything?
Okay. There is something. I'm not sure what's going on. It seems to be getting worse than better.
10 seconds.
What the hell? Really? Jesus, man.
Oh, you're back now. Okay, we're good.
5
Like
seconds.
fully back or just kind of back?
Fully back.
Okay, sweet. So I'm not going to touch anything, and if anything breaks, then it's not my fault. So, yeah, so while I'm busy doing that, we have Lycan Brewmaster, Disruptor, Slark as pickups. The Razor finally is going to get the ban now, and, well, Death Prophet now with the Lycan already on the field. It's looking a little bit better for Denial, but, I mean, they already have Brewmaster Puck as their cores, so probably it's not going to be the route they're going to go towards. As far as pushing support heroes, there aren't that many.
Yeah, Denial Esports. I think this is kind of a choice between the Ogre and the Venge for this last support. Shadow Shaman also wouldn't be a terrible option if Denial really want to kick it old school and go for some super hard pushing supports. That also wouldn't be a bad option.
I mean, if they do want to go for that route, then having a fast disable for Slark is pretty much the best way to take him out. They will already have a blinking silence from
10 seconds to go.
the puck, and of course just a random walk into a hex is also pretty good as well. So
5 seconds.
that actually would be pretty good for Denial. I mean, it may be that they don't want to go down that route because, you know,
Reserve
Shadow
time.
Shaman is just a little bit too clunky and a little bit of a clumsy hero in general, but if they do go for that, then it probably will work out very well for them. Like, even against a Blinking Centaur, if you are ready with the Hex, then he's not going to get his initiation off.
Yeah. For now, Denial are going to be considering this last pick, and there's quite a lot left in the pool for them to choose from. As for Moscow 5, their first 4 heroes are pretty well-rounded, and there's a lot of different directions that they could go. They have a decent amount of teamfight control, some decent scaling damage in the Slark, and honestly, they could pick up whatever they want, to be fair. They could even go super late game and pick up something like a Spectre or Medusa.
I mean, yeah, that is always a possibility if you do want to go down that route, but I don't know if that's going to be the best. I mean, really, that's up against a Lycan. You'd never really want to test that just because it's so risky. Maybe the Moscow 5 are going to want to go for that one, but that would be pretty bold of them. It's going to be a Venomancer pick for Denial, first of all, so that is, I guess, a support that can push. And they do tend to rotate Denial enough around so that their Venomancer ends up getting a couple of levels. So it probably will be high-level Plague Wards fairly quickly.
Okay, so unfortunately it seems like the internet connection just isn't going to hold throughout this game. So I think I'm just gonna have to go about this one solo, unfortunately enough. I'm not sure if it's worth fiddling around anymore with it since we haven't been able to fix it around the draft. So sorry about that, viewers and Mike. Hopefully we'll be able to sort that out later on. As far as Moscow 5's last choice, what Mike said is true. It could be very risky, especially with the definite push coming out from Denial Esports. They have a lot of tools at their disposal to take down those towers, and although Venomancer doesn't push in the same way as the Shadow Shaman, if he does have the time to set up those wards, they can do quite a number on the towers, and it's quite honestly just a support that passed my mind. Denial Esports do like running their Venomancer, and it's one that they quite favor. Moscow 5's last choice is going to be pretty interesting, at least for me. There's not really anything that screams that it needs to be in Moscow 5's lineup, just because their other 4 heroes are just so compact and work well together. They have a decent amount of teamfight initiation, and, well, let's see, maybe they'll look for like a Nature's Prophet even. Might be not terrible, and Moscow 5 instead go for the Wind Ranger. Okay, so I'm gonna see if we can get Mike on the line this time. He's gonna host the call. Yeah, so I suppose last time's the charm. Let's I don't know, hopefully
Not gonna try this any other times, but hopefully this time works, because it turns out the landline wasn't connected before. Is it just not working?
That's so much better, my goodness. Hopefully
Okay.
that fixes everything. But yeah, Wind Ranger last choice for Moscow 5 and for Vigos. Can be a very explosive player. But then again, if the shackles don't land, it's not the greatest. I think I would have liked something along the lines of... Oh dear, what was I even thinking about before you reconnected? There we go. It is going to be that Wind Ranger.
All right, so Wind Ranger for Vigos, most likely going to be matched up against the Brewmaster, I want to say, although, you know, when you have Lycan and Puck on the field, you never exactly know what the mid-lane matchup is going to be. Regardless, whatever it is, Wind Ranger should be having a pretty good time, and, you know, bad lane for the Wind Ranger is something you desperately want to avoid. Pretty much at any cost, that could be very bad for that hero in general. You need to have, at the very least, an even lane.
For now, Moscow 5 are going to be the first ones to load in. Looks like we're having some sort of connection problems with Dural, which isn't out of the ordinary. Garder's going to be playing on the Skywrath Mage, Axmo on the Disruptor, Blower Brain the Slark, Vigos playing on the Wind Ranger, and Tron on the Centaur Warrior. Moscow 5, or at least Moscow 5 team, showing what lineup they're going for today.
Well, I mean, I would introduce the other team, but there's only 2 of them, so that's probably not going to be the most productive thing right now. Unless my game is also glitched out, Denial, they are seriously having some issues, even more so than I am, man. Denial have to fix their shit.
Definitely. Well, everybody but Dural is going to load in, so that's kind of nice, I suppose. This is on Luxembourg servers, so hopefully there's no issues with that today, and if there is, worst case scenario, we have to go about doing a remake, which is definitely not ideal. Brewmaster is going to be playing versus the Wind Ranger, which should be a decent matchup for Wind Ranger. Brewmaster won't be completely shut down or completely dominated, or at least I wouldn't expect him to be, unless some hackle shots land from Vigos. But Windranger should be able to have a good time in that lane. The safe lane tri-lane, coming out with Blow Your Brain, Garter, as well as Axe Mode, has a decent amount of killing potential, even if it's on the puck, especially if they get off a long-range glimpse after the loser of Jaunt. So top lane's good for Moscow 5 as well. Tron's really the one that's going to have the biggest of issues for them, and as long as he doesn't die too much in the laning stage, he should be able to have a decent impact, as long as he gets level 6.
Do you think there's any chance of Denial going aggressive tri-lane with this one so as to avoid that situation with Puck? It seems like it would be okay, but not the best.
That pretty much sums it up. It would be okay. Like, Lycanthrope, Venomancer, and Vengeful Spirit could definitely get some work done in that lane, or maybe they even have Puck as the farming core inside that tri-lane. Just have Lycan solo safe versus a Centaur, also not a terrible option. But I think just going for the traditional safe lane, ensuring farm for the Lycanthrope is probably a little bit better.
Yeah, so at the very least options for Denial right now. For Moscow 5, I'm pretty sure they're going to expect the lane setup that you just said. So, I mean, they're more than happy to have a 3v3 lane. Their aggressive capabilities are also pretty high, so I think overall it would benefit Moscow 5 to try to line up a 3v3 lane. And as you said, Centaur versus Lycan is okay, but, I mean, it's probably going to be a lot better for the Centaur in that situation. So I think for Moscow 5, that's going to be a guessing game. Where are the 3 Denial heroes going to be going, and where can we match our heroes up to match that situation for us?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And we'll have no idea how that pans out until Geralt actually fully gets into this game. He has reconnected, and that's good, and hopefully there's no further issues with our friendly neighborhood Brewmaster. And we do have the ready coming out from Effing Mad.
All right, so since Denial are ready, let's go over who's playing what on Denial since Moscow 5 are already introduced. We got Funzy on the Puck Cryo, who's going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. Paris is on the Venomancer, and that leaves Joral on the Fresh Brewmaster, fucking mad, as the currently invisible on my screen Lycan, but I assure you guys he is there.
It's actually pretty interesting that they have Lycan played by Effing Mad. Generally, he's more on a support or jungler, so maybe we even see them give farm to the Venomancer with Cryoj and then run Lycanthrope as just a pure jungling Lycan.
I mean, won't be the first time that we saw that, so it's certainly a possibility for Denial if they want to do that. As far as Moscow 5 being able to punish that, Skywrath Mage and Disruptor are okay at shutting down a Lycan in that scenario. Windranger is really good at it because she could very quickly leave the lane, and with her wind run and her mobility in general, might be able to get in, get out, and yeah, fucking mad, loading out with a Quelling Blade Stout Shield. This is looking to be like a full jungle Lycan.
Yeah, very interesting. Summons his first wolves to potentially just scout out some runes or get some vision on the enemy lanes at all. Yeah, I think it's an interesting choice. It's going to give Denial a little bit more on this Venomancer, but is that worth risking your Lycanthrope from getting his farm? If it works out for Denial, they're going to be at a significant advantage in this game, getting an early mechanism or whatever Paris wants to be building into, maybe even just an Axe Rush, as well as the Vladimir's offering as pushing tools for the Lycan. If it doesn't work, however, they're in for a bit of a pickle here. Funzy starts out down in bottom, but he's going to make his way up towards top. Boots first on the puck, presumably just going to be soloing the offlane, although Concussive Shot's going to slow down poor Cryoj. Will be able to lock him down any further. Gale lands into a lot of heroes and the shackle misses. Cryoj should be able to walk this one off, although there's a glimpse. Do they have the vision for it? He is not in range, or is he? That was actually a very weird interaction, but in the meantime, going to be pounced as well as stomped down. Vigas drawing first blood. That did not look like it was in range. The Vengeful Spirit was like at least 100 range away from that. The animation must have been just, I don't know, very delayed.
And I had my mouse over the glimpse thing the entire time, and that was so clearly not in range. So if I was the Vengeful Spirit there, I would be so pissed off. But Moscow 5, either way, even though they missed their shackle shot opportunity, they still got a pretty miraculous glimpse. So going to get first blood, and it's going to be going, first of all, the way of Moscow 5. Second of all, the way of Vigas, who, as I was just saying before, really likes to have a great start on this Windranger. And everyone would like to have a great start on the Windranger. It's just how the hero works. So probably the best possible case for Moscow 5.
More or less, and he is going to start out well on his way towards bottle, even after getting an old talisman first. Probably having it at about the same time as the Brewmaster, maybe even a little bit faster, depending on how the lane works. Brewmaster does get a better block off than Vigas, but for now, it's just going to be traded blows. The 3v3 lane is going to be formed down in bottom, and Effing Mad doesn't go to the jungle, in fact, is going to be farming in the lane, deciding that they are just going to go for a traditional laning situation with Effing Mad starting out with the Stout Shield as well as the Quelling Blade. It's not a terrible opener if you don't expect to be pressured at all. You'll be able to farm jungle very effectively. But in this lane, I think a little bit of extra regen would have been pretty mandatory up against the Skywrath Mage and what have you.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that the plan here for Denial is get fucking mad level 3 or something like that, and then leave the lane to jungle at that point. Venomancer would be happy to take the levels, and of course fucking mad will have an okay time in the jungle. Maybe they figure, hey, Moscow 5 just rotated through our entire jungle. Odds are my camps are blocked, so this is probably safer. And in that regard, I think this is probably the safest way to approach this early stage for Denial. So fucking mad, I don't expect to be sticking in the lane for very long. Although he can, probably not the best. I mean, you have a Quelling Blade, and that's pretty useless right now.
Yeah, more or less. Right now, the ward coming out from the Dire, I don't think that blocks any of the camps. If it does, the spawn box is really weird. I think the end of that is like right here and here. For now, we're going to see a Gale down in bottom. They catch out Garter, but the pounce from Blurry Brain is going to miss, but zones out Paris. Neither team's going to be able to make a kill. In fact, it's Windranger to drop incredibly low in mid.
I mean, getting a little bit too close to a Brewmaster, and level 3 Windranger yet has not gone for the 1-1-1 build. So Windrun not available, and Clap therefore is going to guarantee 2-3 attacks, and one of them is probably going to be a crit as well. So until Vigos actually gets that level 4 or gets that 1 point in Windrun, then he is in threat of that type of scenario.
CryoJ caught a little bit out of position, is going to be stunned up, and they should be able to bring him down. CryoJ, the glimpse is not there for Maximo as he's being pursued by Effing Mad. Effing Mad gets the kill onto the Disruptor as the Vengeful Spirit goes off on the backlines. Garter running away from the Venomancer as well, and probably will be able to make it out. Turns for an Arcane Bolt to cancel his salve. Now Concussed Shot turning onto Paris with the Slark's damage. They should be able to get this kill, and it's a double for Blurry Brain. Now fighting up against the Effing Mad. He is going to be able to get the pounce off, but no more damage is going to come through from him. Magic Missile onto the, Skywrath Mage as they glimpse back Effing Mad. Effing Mad's going to fall just to the right clicks. Garter is going to survive at least for now. One more from CryoJ is going to secure his death. Blurry Brain salving up in the backline. It's 2 for 4. It's not over yet. We have a Gale onto Blurry Brain. No further lockdown. CryoJ coming in close. Doesn't have the mana for a Magic Missile, and Blurry Brain probably going to be able to walk this one off. Let's see. Our Wolves and the right clicks are being very annoying. The slow coming up from the Poison Sting might be enough for them to dive this tower. I think he's still going to survive the Wolves. The damage is not there, and Blurry Brain does live, but by the skin of his teeth.
Vengeful Spirit literally 2 mana away from getting a Magic Missile off, which would have secured the kill for Denial 100%. But in the end of that fight, it is going to be a slightly won fight for Moscow 5, and they have, first of all, 2 for 3, and second of all, their Slark gets to live off of that. So no matter how you slice it, it's going to be Moscow 5 walking away from that fight happy, and that's what happens when you take really prolonged engagements with the Skywrath Mage. He has all the time in the world to kind of work around the high-ish cooldown of Arcane Bolt, when you compare it to a level 4 Arcane Bolt, and just dump his entire mana pool out. And well, Disruptor also just being allowed to hit people freely is going to really start to add up.
Yeah, definitely. And at this point in the game, usually you don't see Essence Shift have that big of an impact, but Slark was consistently with 6+ stacks of that, even though it's only level 1. And that's quite a significant amount of damage at this point in the game, so it's going to tip the scales in their favor. That said, the other 2 lanes are looking pretty good for Moscow 5's team, as Windranger's doing well in mid, 21-9 compared to 17-1 of the Brewmaster, and surprisingly, Centaur is beating the puck in CS. Tron, 19-9 compared to 13-4 of Funzy here. And now with the Shackle, landing onto Funzy, follow-up hoof stomp, double-edged Funzy is going to fall.
Well, in the meantime, we have Garter going strong onto Paris after already having killed the Vengeful. Is going to find himself a double kill all by himself. That was literally a 2 solo kills for the Skywrath Mage because he has boots, the Vengeful Spirit does not, the Venomancer does not, and also Garter found an Illusion Rune, which usually isn't the most useful rune to have, but when you have enough lockdown, when you have enough movement speed to just outrace the enemy, you're going to be doing so much damage over time with those illusions.
We got shot, jumping into Effing Mad. Blurry Brain, the pounce is going to miss, but the Centaur ultimate looks like it's just going to be used purely to disengage. Effing Mad takes a little bit of harass from that, but Blurry Brain takes a little bit more.
Right, so trading hits back and forth. Centaur ultimate is now on cooldown, so Denial are going to be reminded, yes, there is a Centaur in this game, and yes, he will be able to contribute quite a bit to this bottom lane, but right now 7-2, and Moscow 5 are looking so fantastic in this game. Garter just needs 2 more levels before he gets that flare up. And once he has that, even though Moscow 5 don't really have the best setup for Flare, at least not yet, they will be able to make some good action happen. Mid lane, though, Vigos is dying.
Oh, and in the meantime, in bottom, they're going to lose Paris. Blurry being munched down by Wolves is going to survive just barely, and the body blocks coming out from Garter are going to secure his carry's life. The Poison Sting's not going to be enough to tip him down. First use of the split, I assume, was how Vigos died there. I was looking at the fight in bottom, but it was probably pretty straightforward. Just clap split boulder.
Yeah, with a Vengeful Spirit Magic Missile, so not many heroes can actually survive that, and yeah, the Wind Ranger isn't one of those heroes. So it is going to be once again Slark surviving at like double digits of HP. So usually this doesn't happen until Slark gets to a little bit more levels when he's level 6, and that happens a lot more. But man, Slark is getting kind of lucky to get out of these situations alive.
Yeah, he's not getting the most of farm. Shackle in mid, latches Jarell to a tree, but Jarell's going to be just fine. Has a regeneration rune, so any harass coming out through here is not going to stick, and Vikas probably gets the lesser half of that exchange, unless he immediately kills him. In fact, misses twice with those last 2 auto attacks.
Yeah, man, mischance against the Brewmaster, always a pain. Now he's going to get shackled with these help of the Scarith Mage now. They don't quite have a flare, but I think they might have enough regardless. Bottling up, Jarell going to turn around for a clap. Vigas taking quite a bit of damage, gets critted down. And now Jarell is going to live. Maybe Arcane Bolt might kill him off. Yes, it will, I think. Yes, it will. Garter is going to be the one to, once again, collect a win from this lane. But, man, that Wind Ranger did not see that crit coming.
If they drop the Ancient Seal to amplify the power shot, maybe they even kill off the Brewmaster during the Shackle duration. But the Ancient Seal is used till a little bit later on. And Moscow 5, they're going to be trading away their Wind Ranger first, and even though Scarith Mage is getting a lot, and he's a hero that can benefit very heavily from those levels, and any farm that he's able to pick up, he's going for Null Talismans, Boots, and now has that Mystic Flare, it's still fine for the Brewmaster, who probably shouldn't have been able to get anything out of that situation to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, the idea there was to chain crowd control the Brewmaster so that he couldn't split, but they know that split was just used to kill Vigas beforehand, so they should have known that it was not available. And as you said, if they just used the silence beforehand, amplified a little bit more magic damage, I'm like 80% sure they could have gotten that kill. But I guess Moscow 5 just not quite paying enough attention, didn't exactly get the timing of Primal Split down, and it cost them. Top lane, though, they're going to shade onto Funzy, and they're going to annihilate him with the Mystic Flare. However, Jarell is here. He will beat down on that Scarith Mage, going to end a killing spree. Now going to charge forward for a little bit more. Finds the Disruptor. I don't know if he has enough to kill him off, though.
Well, it's going to get close. Either way, he's going to use the Wind Run for a little bit of extra damage. Axmo is going to survive under tower, and Tron takes a little bit of harass to boot. Brewmaster Split used for very little impact, and now shackled to a tree. Vigas going to land it squarely onto him. Kinetic Field to follow up. They don't have the most damage to bring down this Brewmaster, and he's bottling up between the Thunderstrike charges. Jarell's going to be able to casually walk that one off.
In the meantime, we have Slark once again surviving at double digits of HP. Lucky guy, Blairbrain. Don't quite know what happened there, as I was watching the same thing you were, but I'm assuming it was just a random aggression from the denial side, and, well, it is level 6 now, where the Lycan is rotating into the jungle, and it is going to be, you know, that play that I mentioned before. However, happening a lot later than I thought. Venomancer still could benefit from these levels, though.
So you can gust a shot, he might be denied that, but with the Gale landing onto the Slark, Blairbrain's going to be forced to bounce away and then purge that one off. With the Shadow Dance, or rather the Dark Pact, excuse me, Centaur has picked up himself up a very fast Blink Dagger as well as Tranquil Boots. Because of being 2-0-1, getting some pretty good farm inside the safe lane. Tron now with the TP as well as the smoke, looking to find a jump onto the enemy team.
At the same time, Garter is kind of in the area to position himself for mid lane. Getting a kill on Jarell. All he needs is another hero. Looks like he is going to go towards mid lane, but not with the intention of blood. It's going to be bottom lane with a Blink Dagger. Might be shown off for the first time, but Harris is playing this very, very cautiously.
Blink, Hoof Stomp, Double Edge is going to follow up shortly, and they'll be able to bring down Paris. Not defensively enough, it seems. He walks just a little too close, and, oh, that was pretty much the line right there. He crosses it, and he dies.
And yeah, literally as soon as I said he was playing cautiously, he just steps up a little bit too far, and maybe they didn't realize that the Centaur had his Blink Dagger. I mean, that's really the only plausible scenario there, but Tron showing that one off and getting a pretty nice kill, and now it might be helping out Garter in the mid lane. The idea here, I think, is to lay the Scarith Mage as bait, but I don't know if anyone on Denial is going to be biting.
For now, it's not going to happen, and Lycanthrope has been farming away inside the jungle, currently 50 CS on effing Mad, not doing terribly, 1-1-1. Can't really fault him for his performance here, and he's been able to find quite a bit. Sitting on to 1,600, almost 1,700 gold, it looks like he's rushing straight towards the Necronomicon. Up in the upper river portion, Vigas is going to be pursued by Magic Missile, but with an Invis Rune and no detection on the Venge, Vigas is going to be completely fine. But from the sidelines, we have Tron being scouted out by these wolves. Split comes out from the Brewmaster, looking for a boulder toss onto something, but doesn't actually find it. That's going to be split down again, not finding any kills.
Stampede is just such a great skill versus that Primal Split, because unless you have some serious lockdown, not just, you know, clap isn't good enough, you're going to not be able to land anything on anyone. Maybe if you're lucky, you get a boulder toss off, but by the time that boulder actually lands, the enemies are going to be like a million miles away. So it's a pretty nice situation for Moscow 5, just having the Centaur versus the Brewmaster means that they are more or less immune to these early game splits.
Vigas going to show himself and spot out Cryoj at the same time with the power shot. It's a little bit of a lull in the action, although that might be broken down in bottom as Venomancer, if he gets caught up by this Centaur Blink Dagger again, then maybe we can fault Paris. But he's playing very defensively on the left side of his lane and should survive, although, again, if he walks up too close to Creep Wave, he's going to get Blink Stomped by Tron, although the angle isn't as clear as it was beforehand.
I mean, last time we said that Paris was going to survive, he ended up going down, and he is slowly starting to creep forward. Oh man, is it really going to happen again? Paris is right on the edge of Hoof Stomp range, however, with these Plague Wards there just to cancel that TP, or cancel the Blink, the Centaur will not get that kill. Meantime, mid lane, Shock Shot will be thrown. We have triple silence onto Drell, glimpse back, not taking him very far. Cryo is also going to get hit with the Thunder Strike, but I think he should be able to survive, although the Arcane Bolt chasing him down with help of Vigos, Mystic Flare as well. It is going to be a kill on the Vengeful Spirit, and now Blink forward onto Vigos. Not really going to do that much because of Wind Run, but it is going to be a clean kill regardless, going the way of Moscow 5.
Dyer's Courier in the meantime falls. I'm not sure where that was actually taken.
Right next to Paris. Why is there a Courier there? Okay, Funzy's going to kill Wind Ranger, but why is the Courier here?
I don't know. I assume that was just a missed micro coming out from Moscow 5. There's no good reason why that Courier should stay there.
Well, that was really generous of Moscow 5 to, you know, get Denial a little bit more into this game. Sometimes you just got to do that to make it more even.
Yeah, the Dire Courier wasn't holding on to anything, so he's supposed to have that going for them, but even so, Blurry Brain looks like he was saving up for a Midas, and that's going to delay his ability to use that, as he'd probably want to use that to deliver it to himself very shortly.
Well, I mean, he can't go for Power Treads, although now he's going to stick on the Midas train, and I figured, you know, maybe with a 2-minute delay to this Midas, it's not worth it, and he is going to sell the recipe, so the good thing is he bought Gloves of Haste and not the recipe first, so, I mean, he can just transition into Power Treads and then have a more aggressive Slark build. It's obviously not what he wants, but it's something that he can do, because, you know, 13 Midas is already pretty slow. A 15 Midas on the Slark is almost just unacceptable.
Venomancer Plague Wards constantly putting some pressure onto the Siron Tower down in bottom. In the meantime, Vengeful Spirit looks like she just ate a power shot, but this push is going to continue from Denial down in bottom. They'll take it very cleanly. Effing Mad even dropping the ultimate for it, blinking to the backlines. They found Axmo. He's going to be able to glimpse back Jural, but that's more or less going to save him from the Static Storm that was also dropped. They'll be able to get the Disruptor kill and the tower very cleanly. Gale on sideline Stampede to get out of that one as they're fighting inside the river as well. Cryoj is not going to die immediately, but the power shot from long range is going to kill him. Now a triple man Dreamcoil as well as Silence. Tron is going to be focused down by those Brewlings. Pounce coming in from the Slark is going to be able to clean up one of the kills after a nice shackle coming out from the Wind Ranger. Still Blurry Brain in between way too many heroes. He's just going to be surrounded. Power shot somehow kills off the Lycanthrope as he was the first one to be shot by it. Ultra kill for Drawl, and now they're looking to make it a rampage. Let's see if they are going to be able to kill off Vigos. Drawl up towards the top of this fight. Does have another blink. He's going to get a clap. Crit going to miss because of the Wind Run. Now focus down Axmo. Axmo does have a couple of wolves in front of him, but the body block isn't there. Will the damage happen? It is going to be a kill for the Lycanthrope, denying Jarrell that rampage at this point in game. Vigos still being pursued by the wolves. One more smack. It has already timed out, and Venomancer gets the last hit anyway. It's an absolute bloodbath, and it's not even over yet. The Mystic Flare and mid onto Cryoj doesn't do enough damage as he's not locked down, but shot down by Skyrath Mage. Puck's going to be pursuing even further. Garter is going to be pursued. Illusory Orb of John coming out from Funzy. Doesn't have a way to lock down Garter, but should be able to chase him down. Let's see, they have another Illusory Orb cooling down shortly. Blink to the trees coming out from Drawl. He's completely stuck. Funzy, Illusory Orb is available. He is going to throw it. Let's see if he's going to be able to guess right. Garter makes it towards the north, and Funzy gives up the chase.
So I think that was a 5 versus 6 in favor of Denial. That split from Brewmaster was just absolutely backbreaking, and you know, I mentioned, oh wait, it might be a little bit more because Garter runs into Jarrell, who blinked into the trees. I'm sure that was strategic. He was just waiting for someone to cross into that area. He's going to get that kill on the Skyrath Mage in the end, so it is going to be even more kills for Denial, and really that happened in such a way that Stampede was used before the split, so you don't have that disengage tool. If Stampede was held, then Moscow 5 would have had much fewer casualties, but as it stands, Denial walking away with quite a bit. I'm pretty sure also getting just a full surround on the Slark, which I guess is a way of shutting down Shadow Dance. It never really occurred to me, but yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, it also blocks any ability to pounce out of there. He was completely stuck. It's not going to happen very often, but there was pretty key. Blurry Brain does go for the Midas, and now pursuing up towards top has the Skyrath Mage. If they silence what the fuck, that could be a kill. Loser Orb, don't think that got vision of Blurry Brain, but Puck is a little too defensively positioned, and Blurbrain shows his face to the creep wave as well. A huge spurt of aggression that ends up favoring Denial. Now we have that Vladimir's offering for effing mad. Instead going back for the power treads instead of fully committing for a Necrobook, but he is going to have the major components towards a tier 1 Necrobook and going to get that at a very fast pace as well. Even after not the fastest of laning stages, going back in the jungle has seemed to work really well for effing mad. And Brewmaster, more than halfway towards his Aghanims up in top. They get the Static Storm, but not the Kinetic Field on Paris. He runs through a Missing Flare, and Paris is probably going to fall. Double Edge not even necessary as Tron ends up canceling that animation. Disruptor gets the kill.
And, well, it is going to be a kill for Moscow 5, and they also do have all their towers intact, though this Lycan is farming okay now that he has broken himself out of that 3v3 scenario down towards bottom. He still has yet to take any towers, and Venomancer also on the team with only 1 tower down is kind of low. In fact, it might be Moscow 5 evening up the tower score shortly as Vigos is applying a little bit of pressure towards mid. Not much pushing power on this Wind Ranger, no focus fire just yet, which is pretty standard, but Denial, they really have to start amping up their pushing power just to start accelerating themselves over the likes of Slark, who is working with that Midas.
Fair enough. I would have liked to see the Wind Ranger potentially go for focus fire, but hold that thought as Vigos is going to be able to wind run away after force-staffing himself outside of a Dream Coil. So there you have it. Vigos is going to be just fine, although cutting things a little close.
Yeah, that's how Vigos rolls, and even if he was, completely caught out there with no force staff, with Wind Run, it is going to be a very slow kill for Denial, at least enough time for Moscow 5 to bring in the cavalry if they were to make that call, if they decided that it was worth trying to save him. So that kill was by no means guaranteed for Denial, and well, now it's going to be a small window where Coil is down, but it's really hard to play around Coil cooldowns because it is, only a minute? 85 seconds.
Fair enough. Blink Dagger's on the puck, and it looks like Vigos was trying to cancel that. Now, with a, Shackle onto the Lycanthrope, they're going to be able to hoof stomp, double edge him down after the swap coming up from CryoJ. Tron stunned up under the tower. He is probably going to fall for that kill onto the Lycanthrope. A couple more auto attacks and a tower shot are all that they need. He actually dies to that last tower auto attack. Brewmaster in his split form going to throw Scarlet Mage up in the air, purge him back down, and Garter is going to be the next to fall. Lycanthrope for 2, and they get the tower deny.
And that's certainly a trade I would take for if I was Denial. Javaral is just doing so much work as this Brewmaster. These splits are just completely demolishing Moscow 5, and hey, even when you don't have a split, jump forward for Axmo. The Wolves, I don't think are going to be enough to kill him off, although they're doing a deceptively high amount of damage. One gets killed, and now Axmo, I think he's going to go down unless Javaral... Oh, no, he's not going to pursue the chase, so Axmo barely gets to survive out of that, but that was just 2 Wolves and a Blink Clap and 1 hit or something like that, so Disruptor by no means a tanky hero, but he has to really respect this Brewmaster play, especially more so once Aghanims is up.
And that Aghanims is only 250 a gold away for Javaral, unless he has something on Courier, and he doesn't. Almost completed. This is going to be an absurdly fast Aghanims after Blink as well as Treads.
And the earlier you get Aghanims, pretty much on any hero, the better. Brewmaster is a hero that the earlier you get it, it will just do so much more because of how much raw damage Thunderclap does. If you get it 40 minutes into the game, it is a very average item, but we have a setup on top lane. Blurbrain might be now surprised by a blinking puck, especially since he just uses a pack, so this is pretty much the time to go. He's a little bit far away, though. I mean, there is the silence and the coil and the orb. Blurbrain going to go down just to Funzy. He didn't need any help.
Oh, really? They just need to find that angle. And meantime, inside the Radiant jungle, ultimate coming out from effing Mad's going to keep him safe at least for now. Turning on to Tron, trying to get that kill. Focus fire from Vigos is going to put an end to that. But then again, the focus fire has now been shut down by the Drunken Haze. Force staff and low ground coming out from Vigos will keep him safe as Funzy looks to pursue even further. Tron stampeding away from there, does have a Blink Dagger cooling down. He'll be well away from any enemy heroes. It's just going to be the Slark dying. And the end of all of that, and a tier 1 tower going down in the favor of Denial. This pushing power eventually is going to start putting itself together. Bottom tier 1 and top tier 1 have already been taken.
Yeah, so the pushing power from Denial is slowly starting to ramp up and actually have some tangible benefits. Necro unit is level 1 available for fucking Mad, however, not on his person just yet. It probably will be a level 2 before he decides to pop it, and once he does that, the mid lane tower is already almost dead, so it's probably going to be a very easy tower destruction there. Going for tier 2 is a little bit more difficult, but certainly not impossible with just the raw pushing strength of Lycan right now.
Static Storm and Kinetic Field mid after a Hoof Stomp. Double Edge is going to be the end of effing Mad's life. Pushing power or not not going to save you there, and up in top, potentially some more action as they tag Garter with a Gale. Actually, that doesn't land onto him, doesn't even matter. Garter ticking down to the poison damage, just going to survive with the help of some stick charges and toggling of the power treads. Paris being pursued by Blow Your Brain, not going to be able to kill him, or catch him with that pounce. Magic Missile onto Tron, they probably are going to lose Paris. Now he's shackled to a tree and focus fire down. They are going to lose their Venomancer, and in the meantime, Vengeful Spirit trying to make a clean retreat. Blink by the Centaur is going to misjudge the direction the Cryo J went, trying for the TP out. Mystic Flare also going to miss, and Cryo J is going to escape.
And that Vengeful Spirit got two kind of lucky breaks, although that was very smart, first of all, to not go into that corner, as I'm sure many players would have. That would have, I think, killed off the Vengeful Spirit, which is with Mystic Flare. It might not have been enough damage, regardless, but either way, it's going to be Moscow 5 getting a couple kills on the retreat, on Denial's retreat, and really that's the type of situation they want to be in most of the time. When you have a Wind Ranger and you have a Slark, there are going to be not many heroes that can escape you. Maybe a Lycan, maybe a Blinking Puck, but these heroes have just so much sticking power, and the more skirmishy the fights, the happier Moscow 5 are going to be.
Yep. For now, Droll does have his ultimate online. It's actually going to be a Shadow Blade build for Blow Your Brain. Not sure if I'm entirely on board with this. I think Blink Dagger, as usual, is probably the better item of choice, but let's see if he's going to be able to keep up the aggression and look for some kills. Also, after going for Midas, it also feels a little bit fishy for this Slark. Brewmaster, with his cooldowns available as the rest of his team is also here. It looks like they're angling towards the tier 2 tower push. Jump in the backline, silence Dreamcoil as well as Lucio upon Axmo as he gets crit down by Jaral. That's going to be a pretty big opening for them to look for this tower, as Slark isn't close enough, or rather, Wind Ranger's not close enough, but they might be able to find engagement. Concussive Shot lands in the Brewmaster, Blow Your Brain inside the Shadow Blade, looking for a clean opening onto Paris, but hasn't found it just yet. Running around pretty freely through the backlines of this fight, but nothing's actually broken out yet. Both teams standing off, and that's favoring Denial as they're able to get some constant chip coming out from these Plague Wards of Paris, and well, let's see how this is going to work out for them. Effing mad now at the level 2 Necronomicon. Could pop that if they really want to, but the tier 2 tower looks like it's more or less going to be forfeit by Moscow 5.
This is pretty much the only opening that Blow Your Brain is going to have to get value out of the Shadow Blade. If he waits for a little bit too long, suddenly he's going to be spotted by Denial. They're going to realize he has Shadow Blade. There's going to be dust. There's going to be sentries, and inevitably, fucking Matt is going to have a level 3 Necrobook, so they're going to have that detection as well. This Lark's item has to make some serious work happen right now, else it will probably just not do anything in this game. Fucking Mad, shapeshifting to take the tower, now chasing forward for Axmo. Field is going to go up, and it will save everyone from Moscow 5, but it's going to be a clean tower destruction for Denial. Shackle, not going to land, although it could have latched on Paris, I think, if he was if it was a different day, maybe it would have, but it's going to be just Denial taking the tower and leaving.
Fair enough, and in the meantime, Moscow 5 really weren't getting very much out of the map anyway. Blow Your Brain was forming some camps with the Shadow Blade. I think it's been spotted, although Blow Your Brain might have been able to evade vision for now. Looking towards mid, Puck is not a hero that you can very easily kill, but that's not going to stop Blow Your Brain from trying. Now under the tier 2 tower, there's not an opening at all. Or is there? He's going to start with Shadow Blade. He's not going to be able to phase shift the pounce. But now Blow Your Brain might just be completely screwed. He is going to be able to disjoint that magic missile, but breaks the coil. Now stuck in place. Clap down. Does have a leap. Will make it to the low ground, but they get vision of him as well as slowing him with that Drunken Haze. They should be able to pursue. Paris dropping low. Paris isn't going to fall before Slarky's dropped by the Brewmaster. TP attempt coming out. Will succeed as Scarith Mage makes it out there safely, but still, that's Shadow Blade really hasn't done anything for Slark, and I think that's going to maintain the case since they're losing so much map control. Tier 1 tower in mid, the next to fall.
Already we see a sentry on the Vengeful Spirit, or I guess a set of sentries on the Venge. You already used one, so Slark's Shadow Blade is going to be fairly useless. I guess the thought is nice against Puck. I mean, like, if you get Blink Silence, you could always use items to get out of there, but now there's a level 3 Necro on fucking Mad, so good luck getting value out of that Shadow Blade now, Slark. It's not going to help you, because you're very quickly going to lose map control. Tier 1 tower already gone, Tier 2 tower soon to fall as well, and Denial have a Blink Clap split. That is level 2, and hey, Garter might be on the receiving end of that right now. No, not even needed. John is going to try to save his Scarith Mage friend, but it's way too late, and he will escape to safety, but, I mean, I think Denial can conceivably try to break high ground if they really wanted to right now, and it looks like they really want to.
Yeah, Necrobook 3 on the ground, Wolves onto the ground. Effing Mad's going to put a lot of damage in this tier 3 tower. Moscow 5, they just don't have the tools that they really need to fight. They're going to try for a Shackle attempt, but they just haven't been landing very well for Vigos. The tier 3 tower already dropped below half health to about a third damage. Static Storm can field in the backline, swapped up by CryoJ, however, is going to save Funzy's life. Vengeful Spirit not even dropping that low. Stampede trying to disengage Axmo as well as Tron. They're going to Boulder Toss up the center and try to focus down Disruptor in the meantime. Perch down to the ground. Disruptor is going to be the next to fall. Glimpse is more or less going to help them chase down Blower Brain with the Necronomicon 3. He's trying to pounce away, but Lycan's too damn fast. He's going to start munching him down the urn. Blower Brain is going to fall, being able to do nothing inside this fight. And even without Necrobook 3 cooldown, they should be able to push up high ground with this. Moscow 5 just don't have very much left in the tank.
Yeah, Blower Brain lost 80% of his HP, kind of about 88% of his HP, while still in Shadowblade, just because fucking Matt had a little bit more duration on that level 3 Necro. And you know, as nice as Wind Ranger and Centaur are at these small skirmishes, I don't think they have quite enough. Dural's gonna be with the Mystic Flare though, that will guarantee a kill. No swap available. CryoJ just having that cooldown. It's gonna be one kill in the for Moscow 5, but Garter's going to be the trade right now. Poison damage going to take him down. Shackle going to latch onto CryoJ and Paris Vigos. Maybe we'll put some damage into them, or we'll decide not to. Fucking Mad is like, yo, you guys could start fighting. I don't really care because I'm taking objectives right now. That's a complete set of Raxes for the mid lane, plus Axmo for the road. And Denial are going to make a clean retreat with the rest of their surviving heroes, unless they want to go for Vigos as well. Tron is going to kill off Cryo, but at what cost? Because it looks like he's going to die to poison damage. Blower Brain is back with the help of Stampede. Necro units are now down. Paris going to try to TP himself out, and it looks like he will make it out alive and get the kill on the Centaur in the meantime. Vigos getting chased down by a army and then some, as Puck does get killed by random trolls. I mean, it's not the cleanest of retreats for Denial, but still, they make a decent fight happen on the retreat. Plus, they already took Raxes.
Yeah, doesn't really matter at this point. 27 minutes in the game, or thereabouts. It's kind of when Lycanthrope base pushes start really putting things together, and that's what we're seeing right now. Denial convincingly taking a nice fight, as well as the structures. Even though they lose some on the retreat, doesn't really matter. The structural damage is almost enough to pretty much say that Denial are going to win this game, or at least have a very hard time losing it. Slark, as well as Wind Ranger, especially with the builds that they've gone for, the Shadowblade on the Slark, really need to start snowballing at this point in the game and look for kills, and they just haven't been able to find it. Every once in a while, they're able to find these good engagements, and they are leading the kills by one, but in the end, it's defense of the Ancients and not defense of the Heroes, and it's going to favor Denial all said and done. They have a Scythe onto Vigos, which is a really nice item to have, but it's not an immediate impact that's going to be enough. I think right now, Denial can just rinse and repeat, look maybe for a Roshan, and then push high ground again.
Well, the best case scenario with this Scythe is Brewmaster blinks in, doesn't realize there's a Scythe on the field, and gets sheeped up, gets silenced, and gets brought down. That could prompt Denial into a full-on retreat, and it is possible for Moscow 5 to buy themselves quite a bit of extra time with this, as they do smoke up, looking for someone, anyone. It might be fucking Mad to blow the smoke. Dural is going to blow the smoke, and now everything's revealed. Nice hoof stomp from Tron. Gonna land a 3 with a 3-man hoof stomp, with also that Static Storm as well. Crowd can't get anyone swapped out. That's 2 down immediately from Denial, but fucking Mad in the meantime is going to shred down the rest of the supports, going for Vigos now as well. Windrunner already used. Tron is going to also die to Funzy in the meantime. The Nova doing so much damage. Blower Brain also will die to poison, it seems, and he will. That was the perfect initiation from Moscow 5, and look what happened.
You can't ask for more. That was 3-man hoof stomp and a kinetic field Static Storm, and that's GG. You can't really fault him for calling it either. Denial, with this Aegis, it would have probably just been the last push of the game, and Denial are going to show us a pre-30-minute victory over Moscow 5, and we're going to have game number 2 coming up shortly. This is a best of 3, and there's still a chance that Moscow 5 can come back and stay up in the winner's bracket, but right now, Denial are just looking so strong. I've been Grant he's been Mike Loris, we've been here on HeflaTV, bringing you the Battle of Central Europe Season 3, so see you soon for game number 2.